You ever wonder how much money you're going to have if you do save money? When are you going to get to 100 grand? What about a million? What about a multi-millionaire? Do engineers get rich? Do you ever have these questions in your head? Today we're jumping into that to explain what is the net worth of an engineer. How do they grow their wealth over time? Hey, today we're talking about the average net worth for engineers. And when I say engineers, what I really mean is somebody with a decent income, maybe above average income, somebody that's good at math, somebody that's rational and logical and thinks about paying down debt and building up savings strategically in their life. If that isn't you, that's okay. But this video is trying to stereotype engineers and really give young engineers some understanding of what their net worth could be if they follow some rules. Last video I had budgeting for engineers using the 50-30-20 rule. So this is using that same concept. I'll drop a link in the description. And if you use that 50-30-20 rule, you should get the results here about average net worth for engineers along your career. So first up, what is net worth? And that it's super simple. It's what you have minus what you owe. So that's your assets minus your liabilities. If you heard of like Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And so common assets that are engineers going to have is like a 401k, a Roth IRA, savings, an emergency fund. You might have a house, might have some equity in that, might have some equity in a car. I kind of don't count cars because they're depreciating. And then liabilities that are going to be common for an engineer. You're going to have student loans, maybe still, credit card, hopefully not, medical bills, mortgage debt, stuff like that. Common things that would take up net worth. And I guess I didn't cover in assets. You maybe have rental real estate and you may have some stocks or bonds or gold or crypto, things like that too. Average net worth for engineers. I've done some research here and this is kind of my own thoughts here. So drop a comment. Let me know if you disagree with this. By 30, I think that an engineer is going to have about 6 years of investing under their belt. They'll probably save on average about $1,000 a month. So that's your 401k contributions. That's your match. Maybe it's your health savings account as well and your Roth IRA, and then maybe a little savings for like saving up for a future house down payment. So I think all of those things, most engineers are going to be saving, I would say about $1,000 a month, maybe even more to be honest. 10% interest is pretty standard in the stock market long term. And then so by age 30, you should have about $100,000 net worth, I would say. By age 40, you're going to have about 15 years of investing timeline. I think by then you'll probably have rose your income a little bit. You'll rose your savings, and maybe you've got a spouse that's also helping to save for your family. So I think your monthly savings is going to be $1,500 on average for that 15 years. To be honest, I kind of think it would be more, but 10% interest, you're going to have about 600 grand. So mid six figures, something like that. By 40, I'd say it would be pretty normal for an engineer. By age 50, you should have about 25 years of investing now at $1,500 a month, and you should have about $2 million. So that now the numbers are getting pretty big, and it's going to really depend on how early you started investing. So you can see this 25-year investing period, that's what's really making all your money now is your interest. You can see the difference between the interest and the principal. So you're going to probably have a million to 2.5, maybe 3 million. You're going to get a lot of variance there in engineers depending on how much did you start save per month? At what age did you start saving? The money is all on the back end years. So if you started saving at age 20 versus 40, it's going to be night and day different. But I think the average 50-year-old engineer should have a couple $1 million by then. And then by age 60, assuming you start investing in your 20s, all this really means is just investing timeline is all we're actually looking at here. But by age 60, you should have about, this looks like $5 to $6 million. If you started early, you should have $5-6 million. If you were pretty frugal and you saved a lot when you were younger, you might have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 million bucks. If you waited a little bit to start investing, you might be closer to this 25-year investing target of 2 million. Next, we're going to jump into above average engineers, which I like. So by age 30 here, let's say you're pretty frugal and you're prioritize paying down debt and savings, saving about $2,000 a month, you should have about $200,000 net worth. So 100 grand, 200 grand, time goes on, you'll start to see a difference. Saving a lot extra doesn't move the needle. It's more saving early that moves the needle. So then age 40, $2,000 a month savings here is going to give you about $800,000 to $900,000 net worth. So just shy of $1 million, which would be pretty cool. That'd be a pretty big accomplishment, I think, to be a millionaire by 40. That'd be. And then age 50, so you've got about 25 years of investing, and now you're going to have about $2.6 million in net worth. So pretty nice. You're a multimillionaire. You're probably making about 200 grand a year on interest. So pretty awesome. Age 60 here. So you've got 35 years of investing in, which is a long time. And that's why Warren Buffett is so rich. So that's $7.5 million you should have by age 60, assuming $2,000 a month savings for 35 years. Let me just do a quick little math here to just figure out how much you actually input. So equals 12 months a year times 35 years times 2,000. You've put in $840,000 and you have $7.5 million. That, my friends, is the power of compound interest. That is some math for you. So as an engineer, I'm sure you're going to nerd out on that. It's pretty crazy. If we look back here at the investing timeline, that's what moves the needle. It's saving $1,000 versus $2,000 a month doesn't move the needle, but saving $1,000 a month for 35 years versus $5,000 for 10 years really moves the needle. If we look at some of these graphs here again, looking at the principal versus the interest, I mean, it's almost 90% interest when you're looking at that 35-year timeline. So that's the average net worth for engineers, in my opinion. If you think otherwise, drop a comment below. Make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to learn about proper budgeting, check out my 50, 30, 20 video, last video there on standard budgeting for engineers. So thanks all.